What if I told you you've been lied to? Technology is not important for a successful tech career. What? That doesn't make any sense. How can that possibly be true? As someone that's been in tech for 20 years, I've seen it firsthand, and it's not what you think. There are things that are more important than technology. The ones that understand this separate themselves from everyone else. So what do they know that you don't? What aren't they telling you? The tech sector has a certain mystique about it. There's a certain allure to being the smartest person in the room. After all, when you see hackers and technology portrayed in movies, what do you see? You see some genius doing impossible things through computers, but it's all smoke and mirrors. The tech industry really is like magic. It challenges what you know to be true, yet it fools you in the end. I'll tell you the secrets and show you what you really need to know. First, let's dissect the myth. We're talking about technology, so yes, you will need to know technology, but just knowing the tech isn't all that important. I got started back on Windows 3.1 and Windows NT. How applicable are those technologies now? What about Novell and COBOL? Have you ever heard of that? Technology moves so fast that being a master at any one thing could ultimately hold you back. Tech evolves faster than any other industry. What you knew yesterday could be obsolete tomorrow. So how do you deal with that? You'll find that the most successful people in tech may not have all of the answers, but they know where to find them. Of course, you can go to sites like Stack Overflow, and of course, you can search the web. But are you subscribed to RSS feeds? How about Slack channels, Reddit? Which podcast do you listen to? What about your LinkedIn? What does your contact list look like? Can you pick up the phone and call someone? All of these things, these extracurricular things, well, they aren't exactly technical, but they are a game changer. And the truth is, it takes a certain level of dedication to get this information. You don't just sit at your desk all day and watch YouTube. That wouldn't exactly go over well. So it's the people that can work these extracurricular activities into their daily routine that'll get ahead. But it's much more important than that. Being able to quickly get answers is incredibly beneficial. But what's more important is using this daily routine to keep up with new technology. Wait, didn't you say that technology wasn't important? Yes, I did say that, so let me explain. My point here is that you want to be able to quickly and easily keep up with the new tech and the new trends. You don't have to dive deep, you just need to pay attention. This will give you an edge. Pay attention to the things that interest you. Pay attention to the things that can help solve real-world problems. Being able to translate technology into real solutions is the key to getting that salary you want. People always say, go into tech, those jobs pay well. But then what? In university, they teach you this or they teach you that. But then what? No one ever tells you what you really need to know. Time to tell you the truth. In order to excel in technology, you must have a thirst for knowledge. You must be the type of person that constantly seeks out new information. Then, when you find that information, you must quickly be able to apply it to real-world solutions. This is constant. This is all the time. But you hear people say, it's hard to change. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I hope those people don't work in technology. Change is technology's partner in crime. Change and technology go hand in hand. Change, for better or for worse, is the life's blood of technology. And that's why we refer to it as innovation. Suddenly, it doesn't sound like a bad thing. Instead, it sounds like something new and exciting. This truly is one of the most important things to know about working in technology. Change/innovation is constant and fast, so you'll need to work to keep up. This separates technology from nearly every other industry. Think about accounting, for example. You got debits on one side, credits on the other side, you've got accounts receivable and so forth. It's been that way since the beginning of time. Think about your mailman delivering the mail. How much has that job changed? Now think about technology. iPhones, YouTube, that wasn't even around 15 years ago. Windows 2012, for example, will hit its end of life this year. That's what, 10, 11 years after the release? So let's play that forward a bit. Let's say you enrolled in university in 2012, the same year that Windows 2012 came out. It's 2017 by the time you graduate. You go out, you get a job, you're working for a few years, then bam, you need to upgrade all of the servers to Windows 2022. Windows 2012 is coming to end of life. What, really? Yeah, really. Then someone comes and asks, can we leverage cloud computing so we don't need to upgrade all of these servers? Will it save us time and money? And you're like, what's cloud computing? Okay, let's set up this proof of concept in the cloud for this application. Let's see if it'll make administration easier. If it works, we can move that into production. And by moving that into production, we mean it needs to be bulletproof, pass all the security requirements and all that. And you're thinking to yourself, how am I supposed to know what I don't know? Nevertheless, you push forward and you build this proof of concept in the cloud. Then someone asks you, so what's the status of that Windows 2012 server upgrade? In your head, you're thinking, how am I supposed to work on server upgrades when I'm trying to figure out how to do this proof of concept in the cloud? But you respond, we're still tracking toward deadlines as you scramble to switch back to that project. Change is constant in technology. And truthfully, this was just a quick and easy example. Most people already working in tech wouldn't even have noticed. This is just another day. But think about it. I don't know any aspect in technology, whether it's security, data, web, networking, nothing in technology is the same as it was just 10 short years ago. The more proactive you are, the faster you'll be able to ramp up. So the secret to advancing in technology isn't the technology. It's the approach taken to stay ahead of the game. I've never heard anyone say this before, but from my perspective, advancing in technology relies on 3 L's. Listen, learn, lead. You want to be the type of person that can listen to the problem. Most of the time, people explaining the issue won't be technical, so you'll need to really listen and translate that into a tech issue. Once you have that, you can start working on the solution. More often than not, you will need to rely on something new, which means you will need to learn new technology. Finally, once a solution is implemented, you'll need to lead the change to get the solution implemented throughout the organization. So let's talk about this leadership and why it's important. This is something else that no one tells you about working in technology. We've spoken about change and innovation. You've heard me say it over and over that nothing moves as fast as technology. Armed with this information, you expect to come out and hit the ground running, and sometimes you can. If you end up working for a technology-first company like a Netflix or an Airbnb, you will absolutely innovate from day one. But I suspect that some of you will end up working in banks or schools or insurance companies, and there's no shame in that. But there's a significant difference in the working environments. The working mentality between a tech-first company and a traditional company are completely the opposite. In a tech-first company, they would rather update small, perhaps tiny pieces as fast as possible. The smaller the change is, the safer it is. Whereas in a traditional company, the size of the change really isn't as important as the amount of testing. So they have complex change control processes to ensure that everyone's done their part. But here's the rub. If you're only changing one line in the code, how many different test variations do you need to ensure a working product? If it works, get it out. But it's easier to say these things than to actually do them. In a technology-first company, many of their systems will have been built in the cloud. Many of them use modern frameworks. Their systems were built upon the idea to deliver small changes faster. If you go to a traditional company, they may have systems that are over 20 years old, things you've never seen before. And just like you have to keep up with the new emerging technologies, sometimes you'll need to learn the old technologies or the legacy technologies, and that can be tough. Let's be honest. The reason the technology advanced away from those legacy systems is because somebody found a way to do it better, faster, cheaper. But from a business perspective, you may have a rock-solid system that never goes down, and it brings in significant revenue. Does it make sense to spend big money on a 5% increase in efficiency? Probably not. But 5% year over year for the course of 10 years, and now you've got a significantly different application. It's no longer a simple upgrade. It probably can't even be upgraded no matter how much money you throw at it. More than likely, a new solution will need to be created. This is where you come in. You'll need to figure out a way to use these modern approaches on older legacy systems. Then, once you get there, you will need to lead this initiative. It'll be up to you to educate others. It'll be up to you to socialize these newer, more efficient processes throughout the organization. Don't forget that many of the modern constructs are opposite to what people are used to. So you will need to persuade them to use the modern approaches. By understanding that listening, learning, and leading are more important than the technology itself will give you an edge when it comes to your future. In technology, we create solutions. The tech itself is just the conduit that we use to implement these solutions, and no one knows it more than I do. I've been at it for 20 plus years, and I wish someone told me this when I was first starting out. Speaking of starting out, watch this video to see how I went from engineer to executive. Maybe my story can help fast track your career. At Digital Decision Makers, we pull back the curtains to give you an inside look. So if you want to get an edge, make sure you're subscribed.